What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dillian Whyte, ex-professional boxer. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw something very interesting, which is going to be the topic of today. I was scrolling through Instagram, the Queensberry page popped up and they put out a reel about Moses Itauma. Moses Itauma goes on to explain his progression as a fighter. He explains going through the ranks as a sparring partner, dealing to beginners, and then going on to the intermediates, and then to the seniors, and just spar better people on the way. And he claims that he has never experienced that type of thing where people's getting it on top of you and you get better and you finally put it on top of them. He says that he's kind of always had the upper hand on people, and that to me is very interesting and very telling of where he is in this space right now. He seems undefeated. That's because he is undefeated and he doesn't look beatable at the moment. He hasn't experienced that before. And so that leaves him in a very peculiar space, and I think Dillian Whyte is planning to take advantage of that and give him something that he's never seen and hopefully experience something that he's never experienced before. Pause. How does that happen? How does someone as good and as polished as Moses Itauma go through his career without experiencing like that type of feeling that all fighters go through? We all go through sparring sessions, through fights where we experience someone better than us, and we go back and we replan, we get our stuff together, we train a bit harder, and we face again, and we get the upper hand this time. Apparently he's never experienced that. That's so strange. And that speaks to his experience as a boxer. In the amateurs, he's not too experienced. He didn't stay around for too long. He turned professional at a pretty young age. Right now, he's only 21 years old. And performing the way he does, it's surprising that he's never gone through what basically all other professional fighters go through. That's losing. That's becoming better because you lost. And then that's being better. Right now, he's just at the stage where he's just that guy. It's something that I feel like he really should have experienced in the amateurs. Kudos to him. He's just that good that he hasn't experienced that. But because he turned pro at such a young age, in a space where he turned pro very early on in his career, he didn't give himself that time to experience that. He could have gone to the Commonwealth Games, could have gone on to try out for the Olympics and gone to the Olympics, where he would have exposed himself to that top tier of boxing. Because as an amateur boxing, the top tier is the Olympics. The world champs, the Olympics. If you want to test yourself, like truly test yourself and know where you're at in amateur boxing, it's there. He didn't get the chance to do that because he's a smart dude. He said the reason why he turned professional was because he wasn't getting what he thought he should have gotten as an amateur. You don't get money, Even though we all fight for glory, at the end of the day, money is what rules this world. And that's what everyone needs to survive. And he wasn't getting that in amateur boxing. You don't get that in amateur boxing. So fair enough, you turn pro. And he was good enough to do that. And he's wise enough to do that too. As a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, I forgot how old he is or how young he is. He seems very, very wise, very, very switched on. Saying all this and hearing all this, if you're Dillian Whyte, what do you do with this? How do you implement something that can really throw him off his game? Because right now he's showing such skill. People, when they first come into the scene, especially as heavyweights, people love to display power, and heavyweight fans lose themselves over some heavyweight that's just knocking over cans. This guy is doing this, but he's doing it with his skill and his timing and his precision. He's got all this. I believe he will beat Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte now has something that he can possibly harness to use as a weapon for Moses Itauma. Being so young, Dillian Whyte is very, very good at selling the fight, at trying to play mind games with Moses Itauma. I think closer we get to the fight, we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot more from Dillian Whyte. I'm very, very surprised that we haven't heard that much from Dillian Whyte. I don't know what's going on. I said in one of my previous videos that I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out, because let's be honest, this fight does not make sense for Dillian Whyte. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't know why. I feel like he could have taken an easier fight and possibly gone for Anthony Joshua. That's a fight that people probably still want to see. They must be paying Dillian Whyte good money. You know, I think a smaller fight for Dillian Whyte right now will probably be in like the five figure range, probably. I don't know, maybe six figure. But what they offered him probably would have been seven figures. So fair enough. If he doesn't want to risk his record against a lower level fighter, because let's be honest, he didn't look the same in his last few outings. So there's a possibility of him getting caught or him losing and then possibly ending his career right there without another big payday. Anthony Joshua could have been that big payday. I guess that payday came a bit earlier, but just in a more destructive form like Moses Itauma. I say destructive in a way that this will probably destroy your career. A loss to Anthony Joshua in the future isn't really career destroy worthy. Moses Itauma, a loss to him right now probably is. Just in a nutshell, Dillian Whyte has to throw something very left field for Moses Itauma. I don't know if you can outskill Moses Itauma. I don't know if you can like outfight him. You can possibly throw some dirty stuff. Sounds very weird, but I don't know if he's experienced that. You're going to have to try and bend the rules here, try to get into his mind, throwing these little extras that he has to experience before getting in the ring. And then when he gets into the ring, throw him other stuff. I think that's him in a nutshell, is his skills. Try to place him in an area where he doesn't get to show so much skill. Try to get him maybe a bit more emotional. See if that works. That's just something that I thought was very, 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 very interesting for Moses Itauma to be as good as he is and not have experienced or like that type of low or that little dip that you have as an amateur or just as a fighter. You haven't experienced even losses in even in sparring form. Very, very strange. The guy is different. I can't wait to see him fight against Dillian Whyte. Anyway, guys, that's me. I'm Junior Fire, ex-professional boxer. See you guys next time.